Hi friends! I know it's been a little while since an update, but I've had a lot of stuff going on in the world of my teeth. I had my wisdom teeth taken out on Friday, last Friday, so 8 days ago, and that was a bit of an ordeal to say the least. I had all 4 taken out, they were all 4 impacted, and so I ended up looking very much like a chipmunk for pretty much all week. So that is why I haven't done a video. So everything's feeling much better. It's still kind of this chronic ache, like this really sore feeling all the time, but not super painful, no dry socket or anything horrible like that. So other than that, before I went and got my wisdom teeth out, about the few days before, I woke up with a really terrible toothache, and so I might have to get, if that toothache doesn't go away after all this healing is said and done, I might have to go get one of my teeth, a crown put on them. So I'm not really sure how they go about that, if they're gonna have to like debond the tooth, take my wire off, and then do that. So we'll see. I'll keep everybody updated as that progresses. But hopefully the wisdom teeth were the culprit of the pain, and that's everything. So we'll see as that heals. But what I really wanted to do the video on today was some of the products that have been super helpful for me throughout this journey, and I brought them to show you. So first off, these little guys. Oops. These. So these are the Dentec Easy Brushes, and I'm sure most people's dentists or orthodontists recommend these to kind of get in between the brackets and to make sure everything's really thoroughly cleaned. But these have also been really helpful as some of the spaces in between my teeth have gotten bigger, to get in between them and kind of give a more thorough flossing as opposed to just using floss itself. I've also had some spaces that were there before I got my braces, and so these are super helpful for getting in between those teeth. And a little trick that I do sometimes, if I feel like I need a more thorough clean, I'll actually put I'll dip the tip of the brush in peroxide and then I'll work it in between my teeth, and I feel like that really gets clean. I don't know if that's super recommended, but I do it. I like it. Another thing that has been an absolute lifesaver is Aquaphor. So you guys probably can relate if you have braces, or if you don't, get ready, your lips are probably going to be dry and chapped. And my teeth probably look a little funny, and I'll get into that in a second, but my lips get very irritated. That's why I have some wax on right now. Everywhere else has been fine, but just my lip has given me a hard time. So I make sure to keep Aquaphor in my purse, on my nightstand, pretty much everywhere. And it's just really hydrating. It's a mineral oil based, great lip treatment, super cheap, and I like it. You can get it at Walgreens or CVS. And my next thing, so on the topic of wax, wax has been a lifesaver, and I'm sure that's something that anyone with braces can attest to, that it's just, if I didn't have it, I would have been miserable. I don't know how anyone could survive the first few weeks or months of braces without it, especially in places where you have hooks. The hooks will dig into your cheek until you get that kind of scar tissue built up to be able to handle that. Well, I was kind of thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I gonna have to just use wax forever because this is miserable? And I don't see that going away. Luckily it really has, so the hooks don't bother me anymore. Nothing really gets irritated except for this little spot on the inside of my lip. Wow, that was really cute. But it has never stopped getting irritated if I talk a lot or if I'm out with friends, and it's mostly when I talk. So when I'm at work, because I'm in sales, I have to talk. So I read online that these little silicone earplugs, they're meant for swimmers or people who might get liquid in their ear, but they're earplugs, but they really mimic dental wax, and they actually, I feel like they work way better than the wax that you get at the orthodontist or the Dentec wax that you get at the drugstore. And I'll kind of show you how this works. So where I found them is in the ear care at the drugstore. And I got one to try it out, and I just fell in love with it. And so I went on drugstore.com when they had a 20% off coupon day, like everything was 20% off, and I kind of stacked that with another discount, and I ended up getting several boxes, and I paid about $2 to $3, I think like $2.50 a box. And if you pay full price, it's $4.99, or if you get the Walgreens generic one, I want to say it's $3.99. So you can definitely kind of search around and get a deal, and they go on sale. And keep an eye on drugstore.com because they often will do like 20% off site-wide. So that was a good chance. So I got like 4 of them just so I can keep one in my car, one in my purse, one at home, one in the bathroom, just because you just never want to be without it if you need it, because it's really painful if you need wax and you don't have it. So anyway, these little beads here, let's see if I can get in. These little beads are squishy, and like literally you need that much, like for one spot. You can see here. And it's a squishy silicone, and you really just pop that on wherever you need it, and it squishes out really flat, and it works awesome. Like, I love this stuff, and I like it so much better than what you get at the drugstore, like the actual orthodontic wax. Plus, even if you pay full price for this, $4.99, like, I feel like the Dentec packs of wax are like 1 or 2 of these worth of product, and these you just get so much. Like, this thing is gonna last for so long, plus I have like 4 of them, so I'll probably not even need as many as I got. I kind of just went a little crazy. So anyway, this stuff is fantastic. It's a lifesaver. Next thing I like, 2 kinds of floss. So the first one is kind of the one that I see people use most often or hear about most often. It's the Pro Glide Threader Floss, and when you open it, sorry, this is a new pack. It comes in these really neat little paper containers, which has been fantastic. I can throw a few in my purse, kind of when I'm on the go, keep some in the car. I kind of keep a little something everywhere because I hate to be without it when I need it. So these you tear open, and the floss, and flossing is like the most annoying thing, but the floss has this little firm bit at the end. I don't know if you can see that, but that allows you to actually thread the floss through your brackets, floss, and then pull it out. So my helpful tip, when you put it in and start to floss, just pull it out the way you got it, and then you can kind of go a lot faster, because what I was doing is I was putting it in, flossing, pulling it out, and flossing was taking me like 45 minutes. And so yeah, so that stuff's really great. Now, something I've seen people talk about on like the Archwired forums and online other places is this OralB Super Floss, and they complain about it. Well, I had actually used this floss for years before because I just love it so much. The difference in this stuff is, so it comes, here's the box for it, the OralB Super Floss, and it comes in a little, it looks like a tissue box almost, and you pull it out, and it comes in little individual servings. And it's got the same like pointed end. I don't know if you can see that. But the difference is the actual floss part here is very thick and cottony. So if you're not careful, this will get caught in your brackets, and it can be very annoying. But what I like about it, and what I feel like makes it different, is the thickness of this actually gets more of the like food particles out from between my teeth, and it really kind of, I feel like it scrubs clean. And so I love this stuff. I've used it even before I had braces, but I used it in the regular floss dispenser because it didn't have the solid bit. You obviously need this to be able to thread through. I've tried it without, and it was real annoying. It's got some regular floss on the other end of the string, but I really just use this part. And so for those teeth that aren't super, super tight together, this just feels amazing, and I feel like it just scrubs everything clean. So be careful, don't let it shred up in between your brackets, but this stuff is fantastic. So some people hate it, maybe it's a love-hate thing. I happen to love it. So the other thing that I really like, and I didn't bring it out because it's big, but my Waterpik. Out of everything, that's probably been the biggest lifesaver is the Waterpik. It just, especially after like a big meal, or when I first got my bottom braces on, it was really painful when I first got these on, and so I didn't want to use regular floss, but you have to do something because you can't just let all that stuff sit in there. And the Waterpik just was amazing. It felt like a little massage for my gums. So I absolutely recommend get a Waterpik. I don't know how anyone could not have one and have braces. It's pretty much like required investment. I actually would rather have a non-electric toothbrush and have a Waterpik. If I had to pick one, I would go with the Waterpik for sure. And it's actually what I've been doing, and this is probably not the best thing, but I've been doing traditional floss like 2 or 3 days a week, and then just every other night I'll do the Waterpik. Actually, every day I'll do the Waterpik, but I don't floss as often because I really don't feel like I have to, and my teeth have been fine. So other than that, I have a Sonicare toothbrush as well, but I tend to actually, like lately I've been using my traditional regular soft toothbrush that my dentist gave me because everything's been so sore from the wisdom teeth. Oh man. And just a little word of advice, you guys, if your dentist tells you, oh yeah, you can get your wisdom teeth after you have your braces on, try and do it before, because I can't even tell you how annoying it was. Like to not be able to brush your teeth when you have braces, oh, it was the worst. And oh my gosh, yeah, so your mouth feels dirty, it feels like everything gets trapped in there, and it was inconvenient to have the braces. It wasn't anything that stopped me from, you know, getting the procedure, but it was annoying as all get out. Plus they popped a bracket off, and so I had to move up my appointment. My next appointment for to have my wires replaced was on the 16th of April, and we had to move it up to the 1st of April. So I'm actually a little happy about that because I had my first adjustment appointment, first week of March, I think, and we didn't change either wire. So I have to admit I was a little disappointed. You kind of, like, the wire changes make you feel like you're getting something accomplished, and so I'm really looking forward to getting a new one. I'm sure it's going to hurt, and I'm sure I'm going to be like, oh, I wish I didn't get my wire changed after the fact, but I am really excited to get it done because that means I'm, you know, progressing, and it means things are moving forward. My bottom teeth, I'm really not noticing any movement, any difference on how they look. I do notice, like, let's see. So, my springs here, and those teeth at the bottom they're trying to push these teeth apart to make room for these to move forward. Well, I haven't really noticed a whole lot of a difference in those, except for when I floss, I can feel that there's not as much tension in between those teeth, so that's progress, I suppose. But it's not enough. I don't see any difference. So when I go back in, he said they're going to activate the springs, so tighten those up a little bit so they maybe cause a little more movement, which sounds uncomfortable, but it also sounds like maybe that'll help get some more progress and finally do the wire change on the top, because I mean, I got the top ones done in December, so that's December, March, April, 3 months without a change on the top, so I'm kind of like, yeah, let's get with the program. Let's do this. I kind of feel like he might have taken it a little bit easy because I was about to get my wisdom teeth taken out. So he kind of was being a little more delicate than I would have liked. I said, do whatever you gotta do. I'm not worried about it. I know it's gonna hurt a little bit. And he was like, no, you still got a little time on this top wire. But that's okay. I trust him, and I know he always makes the best decisions for me. So anyhow, that's really everything. So if you have any questions about any of those products or anything else in particular, springs, I know I've had a few people ask questions about the springs. I'm happy to answer anything, and I try and get back to people as soon as I can. So hope this was helpful, and subscribe if you'd like to get the newest videos as I post them. Thank you. Have a good night.